Soulful Leaders and Visionaries. Welcome back to the Getting Naked Video 4 series for your soul work and life purpose. I am so happy you've made it this far, which means that you are meant to be great. You are great. This is amazing. You've made it. You've gotten rid of the debris. You've moved out the garbage. You've let your highest ideal life come in. You've done some shifting. You've done some showing up. I have chills because I'm so excited for you. So week 4 is kind of like an intro to Soul Work Matters and what the Soul Work Matters e-course teaches, which is the 4 phases of soul work. Phase 1, which is the awakening phase, is what we're going to talk about today. So what is this awakening phase? Well, it's a divine experience if you ever have had the chance, maybe in your business or personal life, of experiencing an awakening where you are directly given ideas, information, guidance in a way that you've never imagined before. It's not like going out and seeking or doing or even claiming or being. It's particularly guided by a higher power. And it's an awakening phase also within the soul, within yourself, that starts to awaken. And what happens is it reactivates the part of you that already knows your purpose. So our purpose is actually given, and I believe in the soul work teachings that I teach, that it is already within you, within your DNA. So your purpose, your activated, designated life purpose is sitting dormant within you. We come here to this earth. We come here knowing what we want to do here, and we also have kind of a guidebook of what makes us happy and how we can elevate the world and how we can actually elevate our own life to the highest ideal life that we've ever experienced here. We have the key. We have it all. The trick is when we come here, we forget. So the awakening phase has a couple different leaps. I call them leaps in the Soul Work Matters e-course. The awakening phase is where we go through literally an awakening of our life. We are given divine inspiration. We are given ideas about our purpose here. We are naturally guided along through an awakening process. And what this awakening process can be like for you and what can you expect? Just showing up and knowing, making the shift of the radical honesty and getting really honest, which is always number 1 in soul work and life purpose, is the radical honesty, is that you start shifting in the things and you start attracting in the things in your life that you are meant to do here. So it's like a divine awakening where you are actually being guided into a process of remembering. So there's an awakening phase where you start feeling connected to whatever it is you want to have. The awakening phase is you start remembering the things that you like to do here and your purpose and what motivates you. And sometimes these change. So this is not only for beginners. This is for people that are always continually pursuing the life purpose path, is that it changes. And so you start getting these emotions and start awakening to what you are supposed to do here. And so instead of pushing it down or stuffing it down or fighting it, you're awakening to this. And so what happens when you start awakening? You start feeling connected. You start feeling euphoric. You might start feeling like you can't sleep and you're up at all hours. You might feel extremely energized, or you might feel kind of calm and subdued and also very, very connected spiritually. So it's a complete awakening phase. You will also experience physical symptoms when you're in this phase. The awakening phase is truly an awakening to your life purpose. And so you'll start to feel goosebumps. You'll start to feel that in-love feeling in your stomach. It's like an in-love feeling where you just have never experienced it before, but you're connecting with something so great you can't really focus on physical things, eat, sleep. You're just so euphoric and connected, and you have divine ideas that are given to you, and it's a completely guided place into your purpose. You start awakening to your purpose, and you start experiencing physical symptoms emotional symptoms, and a feeling of being carried. So you start feeling an essence of a presence here where someone is familiar with you, whether you're spiritual with God or what you claim. You start feeling that present in your life. It starts to become very apparent that you're being carried by a divine purpose. The awakening phase can be almost like being in love with a partner. It is absolutely fun, exciting, scary, and really soul-fulfilling. Also part of the awakening phase that you're going to experience is a rediscovery. So the rediscovery is another leap when you start remembering. I call it the rediscovery, or it can be the remembering leap. So in this awakening stage, which is the first phase of soul work that I teach, there's a leap. And the leap is the remembering or the rediscovery leap. And you start remembering your purpose. Just like it's been handed to you before you came here as a designated purpose, you start recalling events. You start going back to being a child. You start recalling things that you liked to do as a child. You start connecting back with your true nature. During this time, the awakening phase, it's really important to have self-care, to have some alone time, to take care of your body, to journal, to take a cup of tea, to possibly listen to affirmations or hypnosis on your iPhone, because it's really important to feed your positive mind right now and to keep the momentum going. During this phase, it's also really important to exercise or get out in nature as much as you can, but also to rest and relax, because know that you're doing a lot of shifting within your body. You're doing a lot of shifting in the world, internally, and in your life. And so this is a huge step, this awakening stage. And so you want to stay here. You want to milk it and stay in that space of awakening. During this phase right now, if you are in it, great. If you're not, that's okay. You're going to get there. Do not be worried. You will not be let down. You will not be left in the dust. You will be carried. You wait for your moment, because you will have it. So if you are in this phase right now, I would encourage you to get a journal right now and write down some of these memories or some of these recallings that you start connecting back as a child, because we have our gifts when we come here. Again, we forget. So our designated gifts are given to us, and it's a process of forgetting, whether it's through parents, through what we saw growing up, maybe it's society, maybe it's the path along the way that you chose. Whatever the case may be, you still have your gifts in you, and they can never be taken away from you. So do not worry. But this time it's a self-discovery phase and the awakening phase of all the beautiful things you're meant to do here. And so really get into this stage and start feeding it. Take baths. I encourage you to do Epsom salt, because it's a neutralizer to the body and through toxins. And so it really purifies the body. And progressively every day, keep doing these rituals, whether it be being outside in nature, taking an Epsom salt bath, or journaling. These things are going to be your go-to right now, because you're going to be writing down things, memories, things that you're drawn to, passions, interests, and this is going to be the awakening phase where you take in your interests. If you are already in your interest and you're shifting out, maybe you're concerned that you're going to do that again. Well, everyone should take kind of a mental note of where they're at, no matter how successful they are. You should write down some things that you really truly love, because each year our purpose can shift and it can be very complicated. So it's hard to honor that sometimes when you're very successful, as it was me. And I told you in week 2, I had to sell a very viable company because I had the voice that said, it's time to go, it's time to move on, it's time for your next purpose. So I just congratulate you for being in this stage of the awakening stage if you are. And if you aren't, I encourage you to keep practicing with radical honesty. Keep thinking about purpose. Keep wondering about it. Do not let it go, and just let it sit with you. Let it sit within your soul, and eventually you are going to connect with what you are deserving of, because we have all been designated with a purpose and a soul work. So I will see you next time, and I want to congratulate you so much for finishing 4 weeks of amazing getting naked, life purpose, and soul work. Be blessed.